You get an hour of unstructured free time. Immediately, a subtle panic sets in. Your hand reaches into your pocket, and you start scrolling. This photograph from the early days of television shows a familiar routine. Before smartphones, we flipped through magazines, left the radio running, or gathered around a broadcast simply to fill the quiet with a voice. We usually call this constant consumption relaxing. But looking at crowds like the one in this theater, the philosopher Krisnamurti observed something different. He argued that we reduce ourselves to passive spectators of life, rather than active participants. This endless loop of entertainment offers no actual rest. It operates as an automated mechanism designed to help us escape the silence of our own minds. What exactly are we running away from when we refuse to sit quietly with ourselves? This diagram represents what Krishnamurti called loneliness. He defined it as a self-enclosed emptiness, a terrifying, unexplainable fear of isolation. Eventually, the intellect realizes that no amount of external distraction, relationships, or entertainment can permanently bridge this internal void. The void rejects these temporary fixes. As long as we continue running from this core loneliness, we remain psychologically dependent on external crutches, making independence impossible. The systems we live in are engineered to facilitate a constant flight from ourselves. This image captures a dense crowd gathered for a religious ritual. Krishnamurti pointed out that strict ceremonies, repetitive chanting, and rigid dogmas often serve as socially acceptable ways to avoid facing our own internal dullness. We see a similar pattern here in this examination room. Our modern education systems, heavily reliant on rote learning, testing, and strict routine, function as an automated treadmill that keeps the mind comfortably occupied. This is a photograph of Krishnamurti as a young man. His life's mission was to break humans free from these organizational constraints and conditioned behaviors so they could experience absolute liberty. From the magazine stand to the academic curriculum, modern life is structured to prevent us from investigating our own psychological state. To stop this cycle, Krishnamurti proposed an active practice called awareness, a process of turning our attention inward. The first stage of awareness is simple observation. You look at the surface of the world, a leaf after the rain, or the sound of a bird calling, without instantly trying to categorize it. This flowchart illustrates the critical inner step. Most of the time, an incoming stimulus hits our cultural conditioning, causing us to instantly judge, compare, or label things as good or bad. We have to catch our mind in the act of doing this. When the mind stops condemning and simply observes its own reactions, it enters a state of quiet, sharp intelligence. Achieving this silent, uncritical awareness is the mandatory prerequisite for finally facing our inner abyss without panic. From this silent awareness emerges true sensitivity. This is a state of mind that allows a person to deeply appreciate beauty and naturally reject cruelty or violence. When a sensitive mind finally confronts its own loneliness without trying to escape, the terror dissolves. It transforms into aloneness or true solitude. This new aloneness is the complete opposite of loneliness. It is a state of psychological independence, free from the need for external validation or comfort. Only within this unattached, fearless state of true solitude can the human mind become genuinely rich and deeply creative. We are taught that a practical life revolves around passing exams, ruthless ambition, and accumulating comfort. Yet, a society built on selfish ambition inevitably breeds corruption and conflict, which suggests these conventional values are actually highly impractical. Here we see Krishnamurti addressing a large audience. He argued that a mind that has achieved solitude, free from fear and societal conditioning, is the most effective force for change. Traits like empathy and kindness flourish only when the mind stops trying to outrun itself. When these qualities are the foundation, the ambition-driven competition that leads to war has no room to grow. Our pursuit of conventional success creates a destructive illusion, while internal clarity provides the ultimate pragmatism. Krishnamurti defined the true revolutionary as an individual who has completely freed themselves from psychological motives and societal conditioning. The simple act of sitting alone with your own thoughts, without a screen, a book, or a motive, stands as an act of defiance against a deeply automated, distracted world. Facing the contents of our own minds is where we stop being passive spectators. It is the moment we begin to observe ourselves and the world without the interference of past conditioning.